What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday, but we are back here with another rebuild here on 2K25. And as you guys know, one of the last two videos, we did a Trey Lamelo Ball Charlotte Hornets rebuild, and over the weekend, or I guess yesterday, we're on the weekend now, there was a tweet from Michael Scotto, I think is how you say it, that it is growing belief that Lamelo Ball will in fact potentially be traded this offseason. And whenever something like that happens, of course, there is betting involved. And right now, the team that is the favorite to land Lamelo Ball, according to sports books, is none other than the Houston Rockets. So we're going to follow the sportsbook advice. We're going to jump in and do a Lamelo Ball Houston Rockets rebuild. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. Right now, we're on the road 50,000 subs, and YouTube tells me about 57% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do fall into that 57%, want to change that, that would be greatly appreciated. So right now the Rockets find themselves at 38-25. Obviously, we know what the game plan could be this offseason. It could in fact lead to potentially, you could have them maybe trading for Durant or Devin Booker, but let's say this Rockets don't want Kevin Durant. I wouldn't want them if I were them. I don't think he really fits their timeline. And the Suns aren't sold on trading Devin Booker. Well, then the Rockets could pivot to none other than maybe Lamelo Ball if he become available. Of course, they have the assets to get pretty much, I would almost say, anyone in the league. They have quite a few young players to choose from and draft capital. So there's no short of anything the Suns could get, or sorry, the Rockets could get, in my opinion. But of course, we have to simulate the rest of this year because the trade deadline is come and gone. So it is going to happen in the offseason, of course. So I will see you guys in the offseason, where we'll see how we finish this regular season, and we'll see what it looks like once we're in the playoffs. And then, assuming we don't win a championship, which the Rockets usually don't in year one, we'll be trading for the Lamelo Ball in the offseason. So at the end of year one, Shea wins MVP, which I think it's safe to say that's probably what's going to happen in real life. And here are the rest of your awards. So All-NBA first team, All-NBA second was get Alperen Şengün making it, which is great to see. 20-10. We'll look at the rest of the stats in just a second. Offensive first team and all defensive second team. So we are the 6th seed out west, and here are your player stats. You had 21 from Jalen Green, 20 and 10 from Şengün, 13 from Amen Thompson with 8 rebounds, 13 from VanVleet, 13 from Brooks, 12 from Tari Eason, and 11 from Jabari Smith Jr. So without further ado, let's see if we can't beat the Timberwolves in round one to get to the second round. That'd be pretty exciting if we're able to do that in year one. That'd be pretty cool, but we'll see how it goes. So here is what it's looking like. This rotation is going to be with, or what it's going to be going to these playoffs. So simulate current round against Minnesota, and we will get beaten 5. So yeah, of course we did not, that did not go so well. Phoenix did not make it in. It looks like they didn't even get in the play-in, so we'll have a pick via them, which will probably be sent to Charlotte for Lamelo if I had to guess, and then OKC and Minnesota. Obviously the one concern if you're trading for Lamelo Ball would be the injuries. Obviously has a lot of ankle issues, so Knicks going to beat the Timberwolves in 6. But I believe Stephen Curry had the same issue. We all know how that turned out. So I don't know. I'm not saying Lamelo's going to become Stephen Curry, like as far as health-wise. Obviously, he's not going to become Steph. Steph is in a league of his own. But I'm just saying, man, maybe he could be healthy if he's sent somewhere else. Maybe it's a whole new training staff could put him in shape or put him on the right path. But for the lottery, let's go ahead and see what happens here. So we're projected pick number 12 via the Suns, and we'll see how the draft order falls. So Pelicans get 1, Nets 2, the Hornets have number 3. So in theory, if the Hornets are able to draft Dylan Harper, then maybe that would lead to them, you know, being fine with trading Lamelo Ball away and resetting, or whoever it may be. Ace Bailey, Flag. I mean, I don't really think it really matters too much, but we only got the 12th pick, so that's not like that premium of a draft pick. So I do think that will obviously be sent as well to the Phoenix Suns, or not, sorry, not the Suns, but to the Hornets. So they'll have the 12th pick as well. But we could probably go start negotiating with the Rockets right now about what a Lamelo trade could look like. So as far as it, I mean, it could be a multitude of combinations, obviously. There's so many different young players that could be thrown in this trade. So many different things we could do. So I think there was a mock trade I saw on, I don't even know what the article was or what website it was, but they had Fred VanVleet's like expiring salary, like his non-guaranteed contract going to Charlotte, which I guess is just an expiring contract if that's what the Hornets are looking for. So Fred VanVleet, his option is accepted, gets sent. I think we'll keep Jalen Green out of the trade. Usually I send him off, but I think he could actually be fine playing next to Lamelo. So you have Lamelo, Jalen Green, and Amen Thompson is like your starting 1 through 3, which I don't hate the idea of. So I guess let's just go build the trade on what I think it could maybe look like, and then we can kind of discuss things, and you guys could give me feedback in the comment section. Obviously, this isn't like a live stream, so you can't tell me, no, don't trade him, but let me know what you guys think. Even as a Rockets fan, do you even want Lamelo Ball? But let's go make the trade happen. So here's kind of the trade I saw on a website as kind of a mock idea. And I don't think this is too bad. I could get behind maybe discussion of maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less, but this could maybe be the sweet spot. So 2 young players such as Reed Shepherd and Tari Eason, 2 guys that could obviously, just give Charlotte 2 young guys to be happy about going forward. The 12th pick in this draft, which will be another young player added, and then the Suns' future in 2027, and our 2029 future first-round pick. Who knows what that will be at that point. And we just get Josh Okogie and LaMelo Ball. I assume I won't even have to override this, and I don't have to, so we can turn that off. So boom, just like that, LaMelo Ball is a Houston Rocket. So that is taken care of. We obviously no longer have a lottery pick. That makes things very interesting, though. So one thing I will do right now is I'm going to move Amen Thompson to the 3, and of course he'll go up to a 89 overall. But he'll be kind of that point forward. Although ideally, I feel like for Houston, I could be wrong though. I think it would be cool if Amen Thompson was eventually in the backcourt at point guard, just because he's 6'7". Having a 6'7" point guard could be a ton of fun. But LaMelo Ball 6'7" in his own right, so it's not bad. So we have a pretty nice little lineup. Jabari Smith Jr. also could have been put in the trade. Could definitely get behind that. So maybe Jabari instead of Tari Eason. Whatever, you feel best about. But either way, it's fine. So let's head into, well, I don't think we have a draft pick at all. So we have a late second, which we don't care about at this point. Player options, Amen Thompson, Jabari, Cameron Whitmore will all be accepted. And then qualifying offers, David Roddy is a free agent, which I guess we can extend the offer on him. And we do have a little bit of money to spend if we want to on anybody. So this is what it's going to look like. So we have Lamelo, Cameron Whitmore, and Jalen Green is shooting our rotation. Of course, we now have Dylan Brooks, probably going to be coming off the bench. Josh Okogie was a throw-in in the trade. We'll technically probably get some run. And then Jock Landale right now is our backup 5, which I'm not totally happy with. But I think if we can find a way to throw Okogie and Landale's contract together, that could get us something of difference. But let's go see what we can sign in free agency. So immediately I turn my attention to a better backup center because I do not like Jock Landale, obviously, as that role. But we could get a backup point guard still as well. We could bring in like Ben Simmons or something. Mitchell is still available too. Monte Morris is down there. But I don't mind the idea of throwing an offer sheet at Daron Sharp at all. But I do want to go ahead and start with seeing what Landale and Okogie could fetch me before I do anything else really quickly. I actually kind of exactly know who I want to go for, and that will be Robert Williams, who I'm surprised the Blazers didn't move at the deadline, but they didn't. There has been rumors about the Rockets being interested for quite some time, but he would fit exactly the kind of mold as a backup 5 we would want. Obviously, not the most reliable guy in the world with how much he gets hurt, but we're still going to see if we can make something happen with the Blazers here. So I'm going to offer them Landale or Okogie. I guess I'll start with Okogie in the trade, so we need a little bit more money in here. Let's say with a Javon Smalls in here, and I would not want to trade a first. It sounded like the Blazers were asking for a first at the deadline, which I think is asinine at this point. But let's see what they say to this, and they don't agree. So 2 seconds doesn't get it done. 3 seconds does. So just like that, the Blazers get Okogie. We get our backup 5 and Robert Williams. So that is taken care of, which is great. And now all I feel like we need to do is sign a backup point guard or a backup power forward, whichever one we prefer. So there's Ben Simmons. There's Tyus Jones, who I actually don't mind the idea of. Tyus Jones could be pretty good off the bench. Obviously, a really good backup point guard. Not so much a starter, I think, as a backup. That's where he should be. So, yeah, I think I am going to go ahead and give Tyus Jones a 2-year deal. I think he could be a really good addition. So we'll start with that, and that will look good. And then we can renounce David Roddy. I don't think I have any interest in there. We can renounce these guys. Okay, so that is our offseason. LaMelo Ball, of course, highlights it. But we bring in Robert Williams and Trey Jones, which isn't bad. So Tyus Jones. Pretty damn good offseason. Jabari's up to an 83. Low-key, I kind of wish I would have thrown the Jabari in the trade instead of Tari Eason, because Tari Eason doesn't ask for as much money when his extension comes up, and I feel like Houston fans would rather keep Tari Eason too, but I could be wrong. So, I don't know. It's too late now, obviously, but Jabari is up to an 83, Jalen Green 86, 88, and then 90 Amen, 90 LaMelo. So, yeah, there should be a fun season coming up. I mean, I don't know if we'll win a championship next year, but I'm definitely intrigued and excited about the proposition of LaMelo in Houston. We'll see how it goes, though, man. So we'll take a look at the lineup here in just a second. Usually this takes forever to load, so I'll see you guys in rotation. The power rank seems to be pretty high on us, as we're the 7th overall power rank, 4-star proficiency under Ime Udoka. And yeah, so let's take a look at the rotation. So we got Lamelo, Jalen Green, Amin Thompson, Jabari, and Şengün. To me, that's a very fun starting 5 with Brooks off the bench, Robert Williams, Cameron Whitmore, Tyus Jones, and that's it. So that leaves Landale the rotation, which I'm totally okay with. So our 9-man rotation looks pretty solid. And then one other thing I want to look at is what shot tendencies are. So Amin Thompson is a 59, which is fine. Although I think he could become an elite scorer one day. I don't mind that. Şengün's, I'm going to push up to a 90. And then we'll put, we'll push something like this. We'll do maybe 76 shot tendency and then 80. Something along the lines of that, where Lamelo, of course, is the #1 scorer, but Şengün could still be the guy too. And Jalen Green is like that third option, which I don't mind. And then one thing I don't think I ever look at, but they may have gotten rid of it. I saw this on a short video on an older 2K, but I guess that's what I was just doing. So, is that still here, or did they get rid of it completely? Can you do options anymore? I don't think you can. So yeah, I think they got rid of that. But I saw that, funny enough, I saw that on a short video where you used to be able to do the first and second and third option, but I don't think you do that anymore unless if it's somewhere else. But regardless, we'll simulate year 2. Obviously, this is the first year with Lamelo. So I'm excited to see how it goes. So far, we're 2-3, but I assume a win streak will be coming, and we should be a legitimate playoff team out west, but we'll see how it all ends in year 2. I don't think there'll be any stoppages at the deadline. I want to see this through, and I want to see what our weaknesses are in the offseason as far as maybe upgrading somewhere. But if missing the playoffs happens to us, that would obviously be very devastating, but we'll see how it goes. So at the end of year 2, Shea wins MVP again, but I will tell you, Reed Shepherd wins Most Improved in Charlotte, by the way, so shout out to Reed Shepherd. This year seemed like we had a little bit of issues, so there might need to be some kind of trades this offseason to balance this roster out a little bit more. I kind of have an idea already on what I might end up doing, but I want to see how the playoffs go first. So we were only a play-in team, and we finished under 500, which is obviously disastrous if you're Houston, if you made this trade. So here were your player stats. So you had 24.5 from Lamelo, 19 from Jalen Green, 19 from Şengün, 13-8 from Amin Thompson, 12 from Whitmore, and then 11 from Jabari Smith Jr., 9 from Dylan Brooks, and 7 from Robert Williams with 7 rebounds, and 5 and 2 from Tyus Jones. So overall, obviously pretty disappointing for the most part, but we'll see how these play-in games go, and we'll see how the playoffs go if we get in at first, which we got to beat the Clippers to do so. So we got ourselves a tough one here. And if this fails, then obviously we got to do something this offseason, but thankfully we'll escape here. Şengün drops 36 to save us there, and now we get the Golden State Warriors. So let's see if we can't beat the Warriors here to get into the actual playoffs. That will literally actually help me evaluate this team a little bit better if we're able to get in. And we won't. So 115 to 124. Jalen Green, 19 points, but it's not going to show me how much he averaged in the play-in. He only had 16 in this one, and then and I look at Jalen Green. Oh, I guess that's not what I meant to do. I meant to look at box score. The reason why I'm looking at Jalen Green is because I think he's the odd man out. If I had to guess, I just think his role becomes redundant with Lamelo here. I wanted to make it work with him here, but I think moving him to for somebody else that would just be who doesn't need to score as much, I think that would be ideal, and I think that would help this roster be more balanced. That's my idea, and that's my prediction of making this team better, I guess. Spurs beat the Cavs in 5, according to 2K anyway. Like in real life, I think it could work, but I think 2K has spoken to us, and maybe there needs to be some kind of move here where we get somebody who doesn't need to score the ball to be impactful, which that's what Jalen Green is. We have the 18th pick via Brooklyn, and then the Thunder via Utah, Knicks via Washington, 2 picks. I always need to fix. Hornets have back-to-back number 3 overall. And we got Ime Udoka, which I will tell you this. If trading Jalen Green doesn't work, then Ime Udoka is the one that's on the hot seat next year. His seat's already kind of hot. I'll tell you that right now. But Jalen Green, as much as I like him, I do think he would be the guy that makes sense to trade right now. But I'm going to fix those picks because I forgot to in the last one or last video. This time I'm going to remember. But I'm hoping to find some kind of trade where we bring in somebody who doesn't need to score the ball as much and just can kind of be like a 3-and-D wing who is an elite one. I don't know what we'll find with that, but that is the hope anyway. So I haven't seen anything that I liked yet for Jalen Green, but we did fix those draft picks, obviously. And I also said the Nets, their pick back. I'm pretty sure the Nets have their pick in 2026, if I'm not mistaken. But Ahmed Thompson Whitmore will be accepted. Jabari Smith is a free agent, and usually he asks for like a boatload of money for no reason. And yeah, he's asked for 35 million, which is just really stupid. I partly wish I would have thrown him in the trade instead of Tari Eason. Now, what would be hilarious is if we had the money. I don't even know if we'll have the money for him, but I know Eason's a free agent. But it would be great if we could bring him in, because honestly, it'd be exactly what I'm kind of looking for, but we don't have the money for him. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that. But I am going to bring back Robert Williams. Will you probably give him like a 2-year deal, and we could do like a 1+1 with them or something, because we know what kind of health he has. Jabari, I'm going to wait on. I'm going to see what offer sheets he gets, because I want him to, sign for as cheap as possible. I can't get behind 35 million. That's just a little too crazy for him. Now, again, I did not find anything I liked for Jalen Green so far. Worst case scenario, I could trade him to a team where we just get draft capital and we don't bring in like a player, which I don't hate the idea of. I think we could still make something work with that. So again, I really wish we did Tari Eason still on this team at this moment. I won't lie to you, but we're going to wait to see what kind of offer sheets Jabari is maybe offered. And then we still could sign like a decent player in free agency. We can throw like an offer at Dalen Terry as well. So we trade Jalen Green. We don't know what we'll be bringing in here in just a second, but I think I am going to trade him. So I was thinking about the idea of trading Jalen Green to Detroit to get a Sar Thompson, but I think our spacing would just be so bad. Now, I do think Ahmed Thompson and Asar could eventually develop some 3-point shots, but in 2K, they never really do. So our spacing would be pretty horrible, even though spacing in 2K really doesn't matter that much. But yeah, it would be really bad. Like, it would be pretty brutal. So I don't think I can get behind that, but it would be fun if we had the Thompson twins on the same team with Lamelo and Şengün. But I'm going to look at these trades again to see if we like anything here. We could send him to Utah and get Trey Johnson as a young player, which is intriguing for sure. If the Jazz wanted to pair someone with Markkanen, I don't hate that. OG Anunoby from the Knicks, Austin Reeves, Aaron Gordon, Miles Turner, and then Herb Jones is always an idea. But like I said, I was thinking about Detroit with Asar, but I just really can't get behind that. And then the Wizards are off me, Hugo Gonzalez. The other team that I could picture sending Jalen Green to would be Brooklyn. But I don't hate the idea of what the Jazz just offered me. But Brooklyn's already been spending some money, it looks like, so I don't really know if we could really do anything there. They also have Cooper Flagg. So I do think, and I'm assuming Utah still has Lauri Markkanen. So I think we're going to get behind that. Did Trey Johnson already play a season? He did. So he might even develop really nicely. And this will save us a ton of money. So we're going to do that trade. So we're going to send Jalen Green to Utah, and we're going to get Trey Johnson. We do have to send... And then Cal Filipowski's not a bad throw-in either. I don't hate that. Now, I would hate to trade a first-round pick in this scenario. Could I give you land? Like, no, they're not going to be able to take on any salary. But I guess it's just a swap. But can I get to, like, 2 seconds instead? 2020 unprotected. We get a Laker unprotected. I don't hate the idea of that, although the Lakers have Luka Doncic. Although he's in free agency, he might leave. You know what? We're on championship watch anyway, so sure. Unless we could do this without Kyle Filipowski, but it looks like he has to be in the trade. So we're going to make this happen. Oh, we're getting too crazy now. So let's go back to this offer. And I don't want the first, but let's say we do 3 seconds instead. Okay, so Robert Williams, they give me... Oh, wow. They want to give me Lauri Markkanen too? Okay, we're not doing that. That's a little too crazy. All right, 2 seconds for those guys. And Brooks for Markkanen. No, I don't want Markkanen, okay? Let's get that out of the way right now. I do not want Lauri Markkanen, and that's what they're offering me right now. Markkanen, to me, just doesn't make sense for us. Let me try this again with the original offer. So maybe we'll just do the original offer. We won't worry about trying to turn it into something else. So sure, the Jazz get Jalen Green, and Danny Ainge gets a first-round pick on top of getting Jalen Green, because Ainge feels like he always has to win a trade. So boom, you got Jalen Green, and I felt like we got what we were looking for too. So I assume with that trade, that will make things a little bit more balanced, which is my hope. So Trey Johnson can move to the 3. We'll figure that out in just a second. But Jabari will be signed also back too. And then we can move Kyle Filipowski to backup 4. So that's actually not a bad throw in that trade. So yeah, I like it. So we'll see how it goes. But let's get Jabari back, because we don't really have a choice. We got to keep him. So let's see how cheap he is on the last day of free agency. Hopefully we can get him for like 20 million flat. That probably isn't going to happen, but it's a dream. So let's say we go 24 flat, I guess. He declines that. We could also make him go back as qualifying offer, but I'll probably give him 25 flat on a 3-year deal and see what he does with that. So he'll sign it. Boom. And then we got Jabari 86 overall developed. Whitmore's going up. Şengün is up. And then Trey Johnson's up to an 82. But I've moved Trey Johnson to the 3. He goes up to an 84. And then Amen Thompson would actually not go down at all. So that is what we're going to do. So we're going to move Amen Thompson instead of shooting guard. So Melo and him will be in the backcourt together. We'll keep Trey Johnson as the backup, or sorry, as the starting small forward. So that looks even better. So now we can go to the rotation for year 3 and hope things will maybe balance out a little bit more, but we shall see. So here's what the rotation is looking like for next season. Lamelo Ball, Amen Thompson, Dillon Brooks. I actually don't hate the idea of Dillon Brooks starting over Trey Johnson. That might eventually change, but I think having Dillon Brooks in there for defensive and dog-like mentality, I think that actually works because it gives Şengün, Lamelo Ball all the scoring opportunity, and you know, Amen as that third option, and Trey Johnson and Whitmore as your bench attack. So yeah, I actually kind of like that. So proficiency is now still 4-star, and here is your shots and Cs. So still, obviously, Lamelo and Şengün are leading the way there. Whitmore is an 88 off the bench. I don't need it to be that high, and Trey Johnson's a 79. So that looks good. I like Amen Thompson's maybe just be a tad higher, but I'm hoping with the Jalen Green trade happening, this team becomes better. We'll see if that ends up being the case, or did I scapegoat Jalen Green for no reason? We're going to find out. So far, it's off to a similar start to last year, but I was hoping for a win streak to start to happen. We'll see if it happens this time around. So at the end of this season, Anthony Edwards wins MVP. Boozer is your Rookie of the Year. Sohan, 6th man, Wemby Defensive Player, and Iguodala is your Most Improved. Shout out to Iguodala becoming a stud in Phoenix. Lamelo Clutch Player, so 25 and 9, so that's cool to see. Willie Green, Coach of the Year, and Nathan Mack is your Executive. So I assume, yeah, Lamelo Ball makes an All-NBA first team. Does Şengün make one with him? Yeah, he does. All-NBA third team, so 20 and 9 and 6 from Şengün. All its first team and all defense second team. We continue to see Amen Thompson make that as well. As with a 60 in the West. So things did go better as we went 51 and 31. So it was just a damn good Western Conference. But obviously, we're looking for playoff success. So yeah, it's cool to win 51 games. But if we're not good in the playoffs, what does it matter? So let's see how these playoffs are about to go. So Trey Johnson is going to get the nod now in the starting lineup, which I think ideally that would be the thing in the future anyway. So we'll see what that ends up doing for us. But let's go ahead and see if we can beat the Thunder in round 1. Who have drafted VJ Edgecombe with, I think, the Clippers pick from 2025. And obviously, yeah, that's freaking amazing. So this is going to be a very tough outing here. And I believe this is the last team the Rockets may have played in the playoffs one. Or no, that's probably not the case. So never mind. Disregard what I said. Someone occur around against OKC. And we will be in an even series so far. So let's go ahead and simcast Game 5 on the road in Oklahoma City. So let's see if we can escape OKC with a win and go back home with a 3-2 lead, and we will not. So we're going to go down 3-2. So we have to even the series back home in H-Town. So they want to start Dillon Brooks, and we'll see how that goes. We start off really slow, but then we finally get on fire. Can we get a win here in Game 6 to force a Game 7, though? And we will merely, barely make it happen, but a Game 7 is underway. So here we go. Game 7 in Oklahoma City to get to the second round. This is the results we've been looking for. This is very intriguing, but it doesn't matter if we lose, and we will win. We're on to the second round. So 28 points from Melo with 8 assists, 18, 10, and 7 from Amen Thompson. We get Minnesota or Dallas in the next round, which, of course, both those teams usually pretty tough. And we get to play Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, so I do have my doubts here. They have Derek Queen and Gobert starting in the front court together, which is interesting. Wiggins and DiVincenzo off the bench, and AJ Mitchell, who's always just a stud in the simulation, as you guys have seen before in my videos. But all right, here we go against Minnesota. So game 1 goes to them. They beat us by 4. They're up 2-0. Can we even the series back home? Nope, we're down 3-1. So we got to win quite a few games straight if we're going to make this continue. So we have to win this one for sure. Gonna be close. They've been on our ankles, and they will almost beat us, but we do force a Game 6 to happen. Trey Johnson gonna enter the starting lineup for Game 6. This to force a Game 7, which would make things extremely interesting. Can we make it happen? We've taken the lead a couple times. They've taken it right back very quickly. And we will hang on and go to a game 7. So that's 2 game 7s in a row. This to get to the NBA, or sorry, to the conference finals. We come out here hot and on fire. We're going to just get blown out here. So this is looking like a blowout unless we get back in it. But no, we're not. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, we are. Oh, hold the phone. I thought we were getting blown out. It looks like we might. Wait, hold on. It's close. I'm not going to say anything yet. But I think we're going to the conference finals. We're down 3-1. 31 from Lamelo, 25 from Jabari, and 25, 9, and 12 from Sengun. And we beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, and now we draw the Pelicans in the conference finals. Wow. What a playoff run it's been so far. 2 game 7 victories. LeBron James is in Chicago along with Trey Young. That is interesting. So New Orleans has Murray, Ace Bailey. Chris Murray is their starting power forward, which is quite shocking. Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and Missy are all coming off the bench. So it's an interesting team. I feel like we should beat them, but I don't know. Game 1 does go to West. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3 goes to us. Game 4 goes to us. And do we make it to the finals? Or are we going to a game 7? Another game 7 is happening. Do we keep getting lucky here? Do we win a 3rd game 7 in a row? Let's see, man. Simcasting game 7. It's going to be close. They're going to have the lead right now. I don't know if we get out of this one, though, and I don't think we will. So that is where things will stop. 115 to 139. We unfortunately lose this time around. The Bulls went on and went on with LeBron James to retire a Bull with a championship, which is quite bizarre, but that is what happened. Well, back to the drawing board, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, for me, we kind of have what we want. I think it's all in front of us. It's just a matter of, I think Brooks can walk, and then Robert Williams will accept Robert Williams. Kyle Philpatrick we can accept. But Brooks, and then Whitmore and Ahmed Thompson will be re-signed. But Dylan Brooks is not someone we're bringing back at this point. So Whitmore and Ahmed could, of course, be signed. So we're going to sign those 2. We'll renounce Brooks. We're not bringing him back at this point. We're not bringing back Tyus Jones either. So that should give us the ability to sign still somebody, I believe. So Brooks is still here, but we're not going for him. All right. We have Lamelo, Cameron Whitmore, Ahmed Thompson, Philpatrick, Robert Williams. All right. So I guess we just have to sign, we could sign Brooks back. I guess he'd be the best possible player to sign back. But how good was he really? 9 points, 36% from 3. Maybe we're just better off signing him back, and maybe we can trade him at the deadline if we need to. So I'll give Brooks another offer because I don't really know if there's another great thing about it. Or we could trade him right now, I guess, and kind of see what that gets us. I'm not even looking for anything in particular, but just give me anything. Jaime Jaquez, Tristan Silva. Mikel is pretty interesting. Gafford. We have Robert Williams, though. Harrington. Jordan is fun, but we would trade our backup 5. Toppin. Herb Jones. Obviously, I love the idea of Herb Jones. We get Jasper Johnson. The Pelicans. Ooh, what about this one? We're going to bring in Asar Thompson, reunite him with his brother. I almost want to do it, even though this makes no sense for Detroit to do. Oh, that's so unrealistic. What the hell do they even want to do this for? So Asar can come play with his brother. You know what? We're getting behind this. I'm doing 2 firsts to make the trade feel a little bit more realistic. We're bringing in Asar Thompson. They want a second. They'll give me a first in return. Sure, Asar Thompson was someone I wanted to bring in earlier, and now he's brought in. Obviously, he'll come off the bench. At least I believe that. And that makes things very interesting. But Asar Thompson, the whole lineup is pretty crazy. Melo Ball has regressed down. Ahmed Thompson up to a 92. So the Thompson twins playing together. We'll see if he's starting or not. Even though I was kind of talking about earlier how the spacing wouldn't make sense. But I think I'm going to go into this last season expecting to be the last year. We just made it to the conference finals. We were 1 game away from making it to the finals. So I assume a little bit more of development and more continuity. Star brought in. This should be our year. So Wemby wins MVP, Stokes Rookie of the Year, McNeely 6th man in Atlanta, Wemby Defensive Player, Peterson Most Improved in Utah, so that young man is ballin', Cade Clutch Player, and Popovich Coach of the Year. So here's your All-NBA first team. We do get Lamelo making it again. Does Sengun make it again? Yes, he does. I almost missed him, but he did make it again. And Ahmed Thompson, I assume, will be on here too. And no, he's not this time, unless if I just... nope, not this time. So they did start together, which was interesting, but it worked, man. Like I said, spacing in 2K does not matter. It should, but it doesn't, which is kind of silly, but it just doesn't. So 17, 21, and 24, 16 from Ahmed, 13 from Jabari, and 13 from Whitmore. So as you can see, the Thompson twins were starting together, but I guess they want Trey Johnson in there. Well, I'm hoping this is our championship run, obviously. We get to play Memphis. Ooh, Jalen Wells would have been an interesting player to trade for. Definitely need to keep that on my radar, but he's so young that it's just like kind of hard to justify. So the Grizzlies no longer have Jaren Jackson. Instead they have John Collins, Kessler, and Zach Edey. Okay, well, let's see if we can't beat the Memphis Grizzlies, and we beat them in 5. And now we draw Minnesota, who we did beat in 7 last year after being down 3-1. But we'll see how this one goes. So 1-0 start. Game 2, so far so good. Are we going to sweep the Timberwolves after, or are they going to make us blow a 3-0 lead? No, we beat them in 5. Okay. 2 Game 5 victories, but then we get to deal with the Spurs. So Cleveland and Brooklyn on the other side. And Brooklyn is developed into flag. Cameron Thompson, Trey Young is there. Reed Shepard is now there. So he didn't stay in Charlotte very long. Did they decline him after his... They did, didn't they? So he proved, and I think they declined his... Because Reed Shepard was a first-round pick. So I don't know why he was on Charlotte still to this point, but whatever. So here goes nothing. Game 1 against San Antonio. They're up 1-0, which we should look at what they have, obviously. Fierce, Castle, Jackson, Wemby, Gigi Jackson, and Capella. So this will probably be a tough series if I had to guess. So game 2, 2-0, and we're down 3-0. Do we get back in it? We do not. So, I think I'm ending on that note, or do I go another year? The Spurs going to win the championship. Wemby is your finals MVP. I think we'll give it one last shot. I think everybody's under contract for another year. Trey Johnson might have one more year on his rookie contract. He does. So, yeah, Robert Williams is the only one that would have to be re-signed. We're going to give it one last try. If it doesn't, we'll end it on that note. So here is our last chance to win a championship. Here were the stats to end it off. So 20.5 from Lamelo, 20 from Şengün, 19 from Trey Johnson, 16 from Whitmore, 15 from Rahman Thompson, 13 from Jabari, 8 from Filipowski, and 8 from Asar, and 2 and 3 from Robert Williams. So we get the Dallas Mavericks in round 1. So battle of 2 Texas teams. Let's see what Dallas is looking like nowadays, because I'm actually kind of curious. So they still have Kyrie. They still have AD, so it's pretty similar other than Dort and Morrison are their starting forwards now, I guess. They have Hayes and Banton too. So it's similar around against Dallas, and we will sweep them, so good start. Now we get to play OKC, who has a full developed VJ Edgecombe, and then Jack Warren, and then Darius off the bench, and Wells is there now, and Harrelson and Toppich. So this could be a tough series, but starts off nice for us. Do we keep the foot on the pedal? Would love a rematch against San Antonio, and we probably will get it. So let's see if we can't beat the Spurs. Oh, wow. Minnesota almost did it to them, but they didn't. Okay. Here goes nothing. Boogie Flan, Castle, Vassell, Jaren Jackson, Wemby. Obviously, this team beat us last year, and rightfully so. They have a damn good roster. Kamara is also there, too. So game 1 goes to the Spurs. Game 2, I mean, they swept us last year, and it's looking like they're about to do that again unless... Oh, wait a minute. Can we win 3 straight? Oh, wait a minute. Going to a game 7 with the Spurs. So we got swept last year, I think, or it was pretty close to that. But game 7 this time to get to the finals. We have the lead right now, but they might take it from us at the end, and they do, and then they run away with it. So it looked like we were about to win, and they just blew us out in the 4th quarter. That sucks. They actually outscored us the whole entire second half. So that is how you lose, and we'll see who wins it all. And the Spurs, of course, win it all. So unfortunately, it will not lead to a championship, but we did our best. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on Melo Ball to Houston if you like that fit. Thank you all for watching. This is Crushables. Have a good rest of your weekend. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.